instilled within human children at a tender age, ensures the extension of a measure of courtesy and understanding to those whose ways are alien to one's own, and to that degree it is surely a wise saying. But, and here I speak from painful experience, most who thus employ it scarce understand it. To demand that humans regard other humans as being like themselves requires little effort. Such sympathy within the species is no more than any other race of beings expects without a thought. For it is only among humans that other humans seem less than human. Among pigs or any other animal, I am sure, such conceits are utterly unknown. Indeed, I believe that throughout the animal kingdom, even and especially when one creature attacks and kills another, there is greater courtesy extended in each knowing the other to be a living, breathing thing, much like itself, than the ordinary human extends, even to his friends. I myself was born in or about the year 1781, as near as I have been able to ascertain, on a farm near Salford, a place not far from the great city of Manchester, so close to it, in fact, that I have since been told it has nearly become a suburb of that town. In my own day, its character was entirely rural, with a criss-cross of hedgerows and pastures such as would be found in the most remote corner of the country. The whole region was once known as the Hundred of Salford, which was practically a county in its own right, and might well have become Salfordshire had things worked out differently. My own birthplace was adjacent to the ancient manor of Booth's Hall, just to the north of what is now known as Boothstown, which still preserves something of its original character. My farm lay at the end of Lower New Row, though in my day it had no such name, but was called, after its only destination, Lloyd Farm Lane. Mr. Francis Lloyd was the owner of this farm, and after the fashion of the local Romans, my owner as well. Mr. Francis Lloyd was a moderate man in every way. He was moderately successful as a farmer, moderate in his politics, moderate in his treatment of his children, and moderate in his drinking, which was limited to a dram before dinner, excepting Sundays. He was not, alas, so moderate in the treatment of his animals, but that would have been no surprise to his fellow Romans. Animals was animals, and one would no more think of extending mercy or kindness to them than one would to a shrub, a stone, or a bit of tallow. It was not that such creatures had no feelings. Surely they did, but only that their feelings were simply not of account. The squeal of a piglet was doubtless the expression of some feeling or another, but most of all it was a noise, a thing to be filtered out of one's hearing, much as the creak of a floorboard or the sound of wind in the trees. Mr. Francis Lloyd raised pigs to make money, same as he raised barley or cows, save that in the case of the cows it was their milk that was wanted rather than their blood. With some animals, horses mostly, it has been the habit of men to name and to keep some account of the creature's dam and sire, if only to make a sort of mathematics of success. A good dam might be joined with a famous sire to make another champion to win the garland at the next St. Leger Stakes. But when it comes to pigs, men have long felt that there was little sense in naming them, as their only moment of note was most commonly their being served for supper, and found more flavourful or delicate than their predecessor. Every one of them nameless, save by such ephemeral sobriquet as loin or roast. In such a realm of infinite and infinitely replaceable parts, a row of dinners one after another, the idea of naming any one such meal appeared as absurd as naming a toenail clipping or a fart. On occasion, when some children from the neighbouring village came to call and wanted to see the pigs, the old gaffer might call out cheerily to Grunter or Stripe, but as soon as the moment had passed, the name was as forgotten as the dirt at the bottom of a bucket of pig swill. For who did not grunt, or had no stripe? We ourselves might as well have called men Two-Legs, or Harehead. In my own case, it is difficult to say exactly when I acquired my name. For at the time Toby was first bestowed upon me, it was as much a noise to me as my grunts were to my masters. I had no idea of language, or any association between such sounds and my own being. That gift was later bestowed upon me by a bright young lad of the name of Samuel